Gervonta Davis and Shakur Stevenson are scared of each other, according to Gary Russell Jr. We are going to talk about that and the fact that Shakur Stevenson made a promise about what he's going to be doing in a potential fight with Gervonta Davis and the other guys in lightweight. Let's do that in this video. Gary Russell Jr., one of the best featherweights of this century, extremely underrated fighter, has 2 losses on his record, only one to Vasily Lomachenko, which I think was earned, but it was in a close, good fight with Vasily Lomachenko when he fought for the WBO 126-pound championship some years ago, and won another one in his last fight, which was a while ago, where I thought he was robbed against Mark Magsayo for his WBC 126-pound title. Gary Russell Jr. says he wants to come back and he will be fighting this year, and he wants to campaign at 135 pounds against Gervonta Davis, Shakur Stevenson, and the like. But he makes a very interesting observation and says, look, man, these dudes are all scared of each other and they're scared to lose. Before I get into the details of it, and along with what Shakur Stevenson said, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And if you're a longtime subscriber and supporter of the channel, thank you very much. And let me take a special second to thank you to the people that supported the videos yesterday in the super thanks. Thank you to my guy, Big Mel. Thank you, sir. And thank you to Matty Yole, and thank you to Reginald Rogers. Thank you guys so much for your support. It really is a great way to allow me to continue to do these type of videos and chop it up with you in boxing about this boxing. But let's get into this because that's a very tough jacket to put on the fighters at 135. Gervonta Davis is, in my opinion, has fought great competition and has a great career so far. Same thing with Shakur Stevenson. I think Shakur Stevenson has fought great competition and has had a great career so far. Gary Russell Jr. is in the situation and has been in the same situation I think that Shakur Stevenson and some other fighters have been, where not a lot of fighters want to fight him. And as a result, Gary Russell Jr. could only get fights with his mandatory challengers for years and years and years, and got avoided by pretty much everybody at 126 that did not have to go the WBC route at featherweight. I would love to see Gary Russell Jr. fight Gervonta Davis. Love to see it. I don't care if Gary Russell Jr. has not fought in over a year. Doesn't make a difference to me. He's an older fighter. His entire career has consisted of him he's fighting sporadically, fighting once a year. You know, it is what it is, man. That man has come out and shown what a great fighter he is every single solitary time he's ever fought. I would love to see a fight with Gervonta Davis. I would love to see a fight with Shakur Stevenson. I would definitely favor Gervonta to beat Gary because of the age, because of the inactivity, because of the size. But I'm telling you right now, when I say I would favor him slightly. I think that Gary Russell Jr. has the ability to pull that off. Same thing with Shakur Stevenson. I would give the advantage to Shakur Stevenson, but I'm never gonna underestimate Mr. Gary Russell Jr. However, that said, I don't believe that these guys are scared to fight each other. I think that there are some things that are very real in boxing, things that matter, like, and I think that people underestimate the importance or the significance of the 3 major category of players necessary to make boxing matches happen. The first is the fighter. The second are the promoters. And the third is the network, are the networks involved. If the fighters want the fight, if the fighters don't want the fight's probably not going to take place. If the fighters want the fight, but the promoters don't want the fight, then more than likely that fight's not going to happen. If the fighters want the fight, the promoters want the fight, but no network wants the fight, at least on a championship level, then more than likely that fight's not going to happen. It really takes a combination of the three of those in order to make that happen. And the most important, I think, when two want it, it can happen most likely, and that is when the fighter wants it, the fighters want it, and the networks want it. If the fighters want it and the network wants it, you can probably work around the promoters because the promoters are sandwiched, and so they're going to have to do what the network wants because the network's paying their bills, at least on the television level is what I'm talking about. And then the fighters want the fight, and they will create a lot of public pressure about it, talking about it all the time. And I think that that's what's going on with Gervonta and Shakur and Devin when he was there and Lomachenko. You'll see that the fighters over there on Top Rank all wound up fighting each other. And I don't think that that is a scenario that just takes place because those fighters at Top Rank really want it. No, they want the fight and the promoter wants the fight and the network wants the fight. That works. When Gervonta Davis is connected to either Devin Haney or Shakur Stevenson or Lomachenko, you may have the fighters that want it, but you don't have the promoter that wants it. And even if you had a promoter that wants it, the network wouldn't want it. At least one of the networks wouldn't want it because the networks are not paying the money to Top Rank to have their fighters go over and fight on Showtime or now, speaking of, what takes place in the future, over to Amazon Prime. And Gervonta is where you have to go unless they are going to pay a whole bunch of money to get him to go over there and blow their budget to do it. So I don't think that these guys are scared of each other. I do think, though, that there is issues with making those fights. And I hope that Shakur Stevenson can do his best to alleviate some of that pressure. He says his contract is coming up and is going to be expiring. So I think he's got another fight left on Top Rank. What he said he was going to do is he was going to come out killer Kerr, which means he was going to go the next time he fights, he's going to lay it on the line. He's not going to move and box and not engage with the guy. He's going to do something to make the fight more exciting so that people want to see him fight, get interested in the fights, and he doesn't put people to sleep. If he is willing to do that and he can make a big splash as a WBC champion and he wants to move over to where Gervonta Davis is, then that fight probably could get made. Because I do think that Shakur would be over there on the PBC and fighting on Amazon Prime cards. Man, I think that it would be he would get fights, tough fights, because they will feed you to the dogs for sure over there. Now, the problem, of course, is whether or not his manager and Jay Prince is going to be okay with that, because I think Jay Prince will most definitely be very significant in what takes place in that scenario. But look, man, I want to see Gervonta fight Shakur and fight Gary Russell Jr. I'll take Gary Russell Jr. in a matchup. I won't take him to win, but I will take or love the matchup with any one of these guys. And I certainly hope he gets out there and is able to get that opportunity. But that's my take on the matter. Please let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Deuces.